Okay, let's do a couple of examples here, practicing finding the derivative at a value. Now, we're going to learn later that it's much easier just to find the derivative as a function and then just plug in at the end. That will be the next video, where instead of doing this at the value 3, we just do it in general for x, wait until the end and plug in 3. Much easier that way. But these are still good to practice. And then next week or the week after, we're going to learn all the shortcuts for taking derivatives so we don't have to use this long definition anymore. But for now, we're doing this the hard way. So we're going to write up a complete solution here. F prime at 3 is by definition, the limit as h approaches 0, f of 3 plus h minus f of 3 all over h. That's the definition, which will equal, and this is what your write-up should look like. Limit as h approaches 0. Replace all the x's with 3 plus h in parentheses. 8 times 3 plus h squared minus twice 3 plus h. What I've got there, this is this. Minus, I'm supposed to subtract from that f of 3. And I need to put this in parentheses. A lot of mistakes happen here. Now replace all the x's with 3 in parentheses. And so let me color code that. F of 3 here is this. And then a lot of mistakes happen here. That guy's a fraction. This guy has to be a fraction. This is all over h. Don't forget your over h. Okay, let's clean that up a little bit. Limit as h approaches 0. So I'm going to get 8. Boiling this out, you should be good at that by now. Square the first one, square the last one, and then your middle term is multiply those together and then double that. 3 times h doubled is 6h. I'm going to do all my distributing here. Minus 6, minus 2h. And then this is just a number. Let's clean that up. Let's see, that's going to be 8 times 9 minus 6. So 72 minus 6. I think that's 66, I hope. If that doesn't cancel out, we'll know we'll goof somewhere. And that's supposed to all be over h. Distribute that 8 there. Limit as h approaches 0. Let's see, we get 72 plus 48h plus 8h squared minus 6 minus 2h minus 66 all over h. And now look at all of our constants. 72 minus 6 minus 66. Oh yeah, that all cancels out. Everything that's left over has an h in it. That will happen every single time. I'm going to go ahead and write that here in this step. Factor that h out of the top. Oh, I could have combined those. Those were like terms. I could have combined that. In fact, let's just do that. So 48 minus 2 would be 46, and then factor the h out. Minus 8h over h. Cancel the h's, and now I can take the limit as h goes to 0 just by plugging in 0 for h. I get 46 minus 8 times 0, I just get 46. That is the slope of the tangent line to this function at that value. Okay, let's try another one. This one's going to get a little messier algebraically. we're going to have to really play around with some algebra here. F prime of 2 is the limit as h approaches 0 of f of a plus h that's an a minus f of a all over, this is all messy. Let me write it out by definition first. F of 2 plus h minus f of 2 all over h. So I'm replacing the x with a 2 plus h. I want limit as h approaches 0. Replacing that x with the 2 plus h, I'll get 1 over 2 plus h plus 1. Minus replacing the x with a 2 all over h. Okay, I can clean that guy up there. I can clean that guy up there. I get limit as h approaches 0. I think that's 1 over 3 plus h, and that's 1 over 3. I'm going to clean that up so that's a little prettier. All right, now I got to combine these fractions together. I can't just plug in h equals 0. I'll get a third minus a third, 0 over 0. So I got to get a common denominator and add these fractions together. So limit as h approaches 0. My LCD is just those two multiplied together. So I got to multiply top and bottom here by 3. And I have to multiply top and bottom here by 3 plus h. And don't forget this over h there. Okay, now I have a common denominator, so I can just add the numerators together. So I got to distribute that minus. I'm going to have 3 minus h over 3 times 3 plus h all over big fraction bar here. This is my big division bar all over h. So those 3's cancel out there. I get the limit as h approaches 0 of negative h over 3 times 3 plus h all over h. So I've got a fraction divided by a fraction. I got to do a little keep change flip here. So I got to think of this as h over 1. So keep the top guy. Change, instead of divide, multiply, flip. This would be 1 over h. Keep, change, flip. Oh, look, the h's cancel. If the h's don't cancel, you done goofed. And I get limit as h approaches 0 of negative 1 over 3 times 3 plus h. Now that h canceled, I can try again plugging in h equals 0. I won't get 0 in the denominator. I'll get, oh, I'm taking the limit now. I'm not going to write limit now. Now I'm actually taking the limit. So 3 times 3 plus 0. 3 plus 0 is 3 times 3 is 9. I get negative 1, 9. And I have found the derivative of this function at the value x equals 2. Okay, that's a good place to stop there.